Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Pennhurst Asylum, and that is in, I think it's Spring City, PA? Wasn't that where it was?
Spring City.
Yes, Spring City, PA. I was actually correct.
Yay!
Now, this place, if you're unaware, is actually in a old insane asylum. That's actually what it was. The campus that this sits on is massive.
Huge.
It's huge, but the haunt only really resides within one building and then a tunnel system. But of course, we'll talk about that more later. We do have a really, really, really awesome giveaway coming up with lots of tickets. You're going to have chances to win tickets to Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, Wells Township Haunted House, Rich's Fright Farm in Smithfield, PA, and Crawford School of Terror. So if you are interested, and I don't know why you wouldn't be if you're watching these videos, and winning tickets to any of those haunts, make sure to stick around at the end of the video. We're going to have a little mini video that we're going to insert there to tell you exactly what to do. We also have a full video on the channel if you want even more details. You might want to watch anyways, because there might be a bonus entry if you watch that one that goes even a little more in-depth about that, and we'll be having a separate video where we drop people's names. But we'll talk about that all at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. That being said, we shall get right into the review, which means, as always, it's time to refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead!
So, starting off with sets and props. First off, like we said, this place is in a huge, insane asylum.
Yes.
I mean, that itself is a giant prop.
Yes.
Because these buildings are creepy.
Yes, so it's not really an attraction, but it needs to be talked about. The walk to get to the actual haunt is one of the craziest walks.
Yes.
So, like, you park, well, there's two parking lots. You might park up on the top of this little hill. We had to park, like on the bottom. You walk up this hill, and then you kind of, like, go through this really muddy parking lot. It was raining pretty bad the night we went, which made the walk a little bit treacherous at times, especially in the queue lines. Obviously, that's not their fault, but, like, we were, like, holding onto the rope to not try and slip. Everyone kind of was. It was really slippery. But I will say the rain added to the atmosphere, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so after you go to the little ticket thing, you walk down this, like, little valley, and you're walking between these two buildings, and then, that was the metal detector, and then you end up going through the ticket thing, and then you, like, walk over this, like, I don't even know, it was like a catwalk bridge type thing.
Yeah.
And you go through the woods, and there's just these old, like, abandoned buildings through the woods. It's all part of the campus of the insane asylum and all of that. And this is something else, just walking.
Just so creepy. Just, like, yeah, it was just, like, it's crazy. Like, I really do hope we get to go there for Haunted Adventures sometime.
Oh, we will. We will do that for sure.
I really want to see these, like, other buildings and stuff, because obviously this is not one of the ones that you can investigate.
Which they actually do offer. Well, we'll talk about that later, but they do offer an investigation after the haunt. That is a combo ticket you can purchase. Kind of wish you would have done it, but it was already sold out by the time I even saw that it was an option, though. But yeah, if you're not familiar with what Haunted Adventures is, it's a series we do where we actually do ghost hunts. But yeah, make sure you check that out. There's quite a few. Like, we have Mansfield on there and stuff like that. But yeah, just the walk to the place is cool. Now, I do wish that they would turn it a little bit more into a scare zone. There is, like, one section where there's, like, some crates stacked up where actors could hide behind.
Crates, and there was, like, a couple people there, but they weren't really doing much.
Yeah, probably. But again, it was raining, so that may be why. But yeah, so you finally walk up. You go on the, like, the little platform thing. And it's kind of cool, too. Well, we'll talk about that, like, in actors, but you're kind of told a little spiel, and then you're sent in. Now, there are 3 different themes. The first theme is just Pennhurst Asylum. The first theme is just that you're in an asylum.
Yeah. And then the next one was the Morgue. And then the last one was the tunnels.
Yeah, and there's kind of like a storyline that they follow, but we're kind of talk about that as we go into detail about the sets and props in each one.
So, like, the first one is the, like, main hospital, so it's, like, the asylum. And it is very asylum-themed, so you get to meet, like, patients and things like that.
It's almost as if it was, like, maybe overthrown, or that's, like, they've kind of started to lose control of the asylum.
Yeah, like, they kind of like the doctors kind of went mad themselves and became patients almost, and they're just it's just chaos.
Yes.
One of the first scenes that you walk into is really cool because It looks like the tower of the building has
Yes.
collapsed into the building.
Yeah, it really does. I'm actually
And
looking at a picture, and yeah, it
yeah,
does.
there's like water and sparks and all this stuff, and it's really cool. Like it just
That's a real cool scene.
really does look like it just collapsed into there.
And then shortly after that, there's a couple other hospital scenes. You go up some stairs, and it's really cool. They use it's kind of like those infinity mirror scenes you've seen where you look and it looks like it's an endless tunnel. Where they use that when you're up there to kind of look like you're like looking down and like you're like on a catwalk, like really high up, almost like you're like looking into like a giant chasm or something. That was a really cool thing. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the effect that Universal used for that bridge where you're over water to kind of make it look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of that was pretty cool.
They had like a big room that was like a padded room maze, which was kind of cool. Big dumb air cannons.
Yeah, there's a lot of big dumb air cannons. They had a cool like little bunk bed maze thing that you walked around. And then, except it was very elaborate, but it's hard to talk about real specific themes because so much of it really was trying to stick to being a little bit more grounded and really feeling like an insane asylum. Like there are parts where you do walk through halls that look pretty unaltered, but for the most part there was a lot of set dressing. Only here and there did they kind of just let the building look like the building.
Yeah.
Most of it was set dressed though. But then when you go to, so then you like exit and you weave around and you go down into the morgue. So the morgue is in the same building, but it's in the basement.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So again, it was morgue themed, so there were a lot of gurneys. This kind of seemed like it was more like they were kind of like using people to like starting to do like testing.
Yeah,
and,
like taking the,
experiments on people.
The mentally unwell patients, taking them down into the morgue, and maybe they weren't all dead, and they were like doing some stuff to these people.
Yeah.
There was a really creepy scene where there was all these like bodies and like giant like water, I don't know, like test tubes, but yeah, like big like vats.
Yeah, okay, so if you've ever seen the movie Alien Resurrection, there's a part where there's like all these Ripleys in these giant tube vats. That's what it looked like. And that's instantly what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh. And one of them looked like it was actually moving.
Well, I think what it was is they had like bubbles going up, and it would like because their hair would actually flow in the water and stuff. They were pretty lifelike looking props, dummies, whatever that were in these things, just kind of floating around, and they kind of like had their legs like up and like holding it. They looked really weird, and it was really unsettling to look at them.
Yeah.
Everything was just like really well lit in there, very very pretty in a haunted house sense, of course. But yeah, this was really really kind of setting in motion that fact that they might be doing experiments on the patients. So then you get into the next thing, which is the tunnels, and these are actually in the tunnels that they would use in Pennhurst, which just that setting alone was kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, I didn't. So. If you watch our Haunted Adventures, you know that I'm a little bit sensitive to things like spirits and stuff like that. And I was feeling it in these tunnels. Like, the buildings didn't really bother me, but these tunnels were unsettling. Like, I don't know what it was about them, but they were creepy. And, like, they used these back when it was a working hospital and a sane asylum to, like, transfer, like, food and supplies and things like that and patients and it just was very unnerving and very, like, the way they had it set up, it was really, really well done. Like,
yeah, it was, because now I expected it to be more of just, like, the tunnels being the tunnels, but that really wasn't. They did have them set dressed because this was the part where you really, like, went full-fledged into, like, they were bringing people here to do experiments, and I think these experiments have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that might be why the insane asylum got taken over a little bit, is maybe like they found out, or some of them broke loose from like these tunnels where they were doing experiments and kind of taking over the asylum itself. I kind of like that because now like there's a lot of these like test tube type things that are broken open and stuff like that, like something's escaped. And you kind of walk around through that area, and they have like a whole bunch of, they built like, they're like they look like they're like locks or something,
Yeah.
like to separate the different sections of the tunnel. The only thing, there was like a really weird switchback section where they had like metal fencing and you walk all the way down this long spot and then all the way back where just like nothing happened.
Yeah, that was weird.
No actors. There was like one prop at the very end that like, I think it lit up after we were already past it.
Yeah.
So that was weird. But then you get back into the swing of things, and I know there was like a scene that like had piping that was even moving, you said. I didn't see it, but you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like pipes, like, for water or air or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it started swinging and then it just dropped. And it dropped pretty far. I was kind of surprised because I was like, oh, okay. And that was really cool. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah. And then you go into a thing, it has one of those. I've seen it like at Scare House, another place where they have like they're not lasers, but they're like lights that like move, and it makes it look like, it's kind of like a newer type of vortex tunnel thing.
Yeah.
They did have a pretty cool laser swamp in here. And then it was weird, like, the very last thing is, it was really creepy, is there's, like, tunnels in the tunnels. They have, like, like, fake, like, dirt, like, your underground type of, like, mine type of tunnels.
Like a catacombish kind
Yeah, catacombs, pretty much.
thing, yeah.
So that was kind of, not really sure exactly what what exactly those were in the story, but they were cool, and they were there, and they were creepy. And there's, of course, a giant murder puppet when you tried to leave that would grab you and stuff like that.
And they did have a double vortex tunnel down there that actually, like, kept switching.
Yeah,
the
it
way
switched
it was
sides while we were in it.
turning.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I haven't seen that before.
So we did give sets and props a 9.5.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Our only complaint is, like, there was a couple spots, like that weird switchback that there was nothing that really happened.
Yeah.
But everything else, like, was really elaborate. Like,
and
really set the tone.
And the only other thing I would have liked to see is maybe some of the props, like, everything was a little bit static. Would have liked to see a little bit more motion in some of the props, especially in the first one.
Yeah.
Like, have, like, shelves that maybe, like, look like they're falling a little bit or something like that to kind of help break up the things. Mm-hmm. But, yes, of course, that moves us into actors. A lot of them did actually speak and have, like, fun little dialogue things they would say.
Yeah.
Which we always like when they do more than just a rah at you or something like that. The one girl in the bunk beds was a standout. She kept referring to... She asked Kim what her name was, and of course Kim told her, and she kept referring to her as Dinner Kim, and then she named the person behind me Chicken Nugget. So the whole time we're walking throughout this, they kept heckling them, Dinner Kim and Chicken Nugget,
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They were very grabby.
Yes,
here.
especially in the tunnels, like, my
ankles were like...
Oh, yeah, because it gets really dark when you're in the final section, and they just grab your ankles, grab your side, they'll play with your hair. I had one girl walk up to me, she had, like, these long nails, and she, like, ran them up my chest, and she wouldn't say anything, she just kept going like that at me, just staring at me, and that just... It was weird. She was, like, short. That was creepy. A lot of people played with Kim's hair.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There was a strobe light tunnel, and there was this girl that was there that just like stared at you like dead eyes, like literally, like I felt like she was looking through me. Like
she was pretty good.
She
at that.
was really good. She was just dead, just totally creepy. There was a scene in the asylum part that was like the showers and the bathroom and stuff like that, and there was a guy in a towel. And that's pretty much it. And he was asking people to put cream on him and stuff like that.
Would you help me apply my cream?
He's like, no,
thank you. I'm good on that. Oh, yeah, the weird catacomb guy with an accent. Yeah, mm-hmm. He was fun. There's quite a few people with different things. Again, this is a multi-haunt, and it's so huge. So there was a fair amount of dead space, and... I do wish that some of them were more aggressive, because like some of them, especially once you got to like the second and the morgue and then the tunnels, they got more aggressive there. I wish there was a little more aggressiveness in the asylum itself. Mm-hmm. Like there were some standout ones like the bunk bed, but there was a lot of ones that just kind of didn't do much in the first haunt. And I was kind of feeling needing a little bit more because, again, they were short on actors, like every place. But I just wish there was a little more aggressiveness there for the one, for the first haunt specifically. And maybe, it could have just been the night. But the costuming was really good.
Yeah.
It was fun. The nurses outside weren't like creepy zombie nurses. They were like nurses from like, I don't know, it was like the 50s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like pearl necklaces. They had their makeup all done up. And I thought that was cool.
The one that was actually telling us like the rules before we went in, she was very Nurse Ratched. Like she had like those perfect eyebrows, and she had her hair in the curls and everything, and it was like, oh, okay.
I just thought that was kind of fun that the ones outside weren't monsters at all. They were like these like pretty like ideal like nurses you would see back then or in a movie or something. That was fun.
Yeah.
But actors overall, we really did think they did a good job. Mm-hmm. We gave them a 9.
So moving on to scare factor. I mean, just the atmosphere itself is just so creepy and foreboding. And it's just, I mean, just to be in
Especially if you happen to go on a rainy night.
Oh my gosh.
Really feels like you're in our own horror movie.
Yeah, like walking on that weird path that we talked about earlier, like while it's raining and it's dark and spooky and you're walking between these old abandoned buildings, and it's like, you're waiting for like the murderer to come out of the bushes and just, kill you. You will get touched.
Yeah, you will get touched. You will get touched a lot. This isn't a place that offers a touch pass. It's just part of the experience.
Yes.
If you don't like being touched, there's not a way to opt out. So this is not the place for you.
There was a lot of gore.
Yeah, there's a good amount of gore, especially like once you get to the morgue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like more, like kind of realistic too. Like we were talking about those bodies and tubes, very disturbing to look at.
Yeah.
Like those did not look like your normal Halloween props. Some of the stuff does, but those ones specifically, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, they looked really real. Yeah. And there's a lot of jump scares. They had some really decent hiding spots, I thought.
They did. And so the fact that they can touch adds that thing. So once they get you, they continue to like follow you. I did the back of the line, the very back of the line in the morgue, and I had so many people just grab my hair and like my ears and just like whisper things at me. It was creepy. I got one of the things, I didn't mention it yet, but they had like portable air cannons. And they would just come up and just blast you with them. So the one girl, it was like a really strong one, and it shot fog out with it. And the other guy, it was like just like a lighter air, so he would like shoot around my face because that one wasn't as intense. But yeah,
they're up in their game because they know he don't like it.
Yes, they have portable ones now to get me because I always scream when there's air cannons. But yeah, we thought it was pretty scary though. Especially, I mean, just the atmosphere alone is really scary. So this is not one I think we would recommend to take kids to. They even say on their website, don't bring kids. Like I think they'd say don't. I forget the age, but I wouldn't. Yeah, your kid's your kid. You judge if you want to bring them to them. Yeah, bring them to this or not. But I would say probably not unless they're a teenager, unless they're really okay with this kind of stuff. So,
I mean, there were some kids there, but I'm sure they were probably probably used to that kind of stuff. Yeah, because they didn't seem like they were like traumatized.
Not a good place to take your kid if they're not familiar with haunted houses at all.
Yeah, for sure. So we did give them a 9 for scare factor.
Pretty scary. If there was a little bit more actors, and if the few actors, were a little bit more intense, I think it would be easily a 10. And from what I understand, they have toned it down a little bit from what I've heard from other people, but still pretty scary. So now we'll move into value. This place, like a lot of these haunts near Philadelphia, is kind of expensive, and it is popular. So it is $40. If you buy online, though, it is going to be $50 after the tax and service fee. It's like $250 for like tax and like $250 I think it was for the service fee as well. If you want to do VIP, it's going to cost you $25 more, so $75. There's lots of other ticket options like we were talking about. I think it's like $139. It gets you the haunt, which is VIP. It's VIP only. And then at 11, you get to do a ghost hunt, and that goes to like 1 or 2 or something like that. I forget exactly how late.
They also had historical
They have historical tours. They have photography tours. Some of these I think might be daytime tours. They have a lot of different tours. You can look on their website for all of that stuff. But there's just a lot of different options. Every haunt lasted almost exactly 10 minutes because I always time them when we go in. So you get about 30 minutes of total haunt time. The only real long line is the first line because after that, everything's kind of pulsed because they've already separated people. So the next haunts are just kind of like a re-separation. So it doesn't take as long, at least not in our experience. It did not. The place is expensive, but overall I think that the value is pretty good. So we gave it an 8. Because again, $40 and then $50 after you include those other two. $50 a head is that's a lot for 30 minutes of haunt. Yeah. But I think it's worth it because it's cool. But if I was in the area, it's not something I would probably do every year at that price.
No, maybe every other. So that brings us to our overall score. We did give them a 9.
Yep. Obviously, worth going to. Just to see the building itself was really cool. I wish that some of the other buildings were like refurbished, restored, because that would be cool if they had other haunts in some of the other buildings. But right now it's just the one and then the tunnels. But yeah, it was really cool. Now, at the beginning of the video, we talked about a giveaway, so now I'm going to put on a pre-recorded video that we did that's going to give you all the details on that. Alright guys, as we said at the beginning of the video, we are doing a giveaway, so now we are going to basically tell you what you need to do to be able to be entered into that giveaway. And it's pretty simple, really. All you really need to do is comment on any of these videos, the Fearscapes review, Akron Schoolhouse and Laboratory, Field of Screams, Pennhurst, or the announcement video. So that's 5 entries. Each video you comment on will get you an entry to win tickets to, we said at the beginning of the video, but either Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, Wells Township, which is actually going to be 2 spots there, so 2 sets of 2 tickets are going to be given away, and each of these will be 2 tickets, so you and a friend will be able to go. Rich's Fright Farm and Crawford School of Terror. Now, if you want a bonus one, you can actually go to any of the reviews of those, so Chippewa, Fright Farm, or Crawford School of Terror. We all have reviews of those for the 2021 season. Wells Township, the last time we've got to do one that's on the channel at the moment is 2019. We plan on going there, but later in the season, so we won't have that up by the time the giveaway is going on. So just make sure you go and comment on any of those.
So just so you know, you can only win 1 pair of tickets. So when we're doing the drawing, if we call your name and you win, you can't win anything else. We'll draw another name or whatever like that. Just know that when you're doing each of the videos and commenting, it just increases your chance of winning.
And yes, and you can't choose which one you want to win either. It just wouldn't be fair to do it that way because some more people that watch the video might want to go to one than the other. You will, win a ticket for that. So if you think, I definitely can't go to a couple of these, then you might not want to enter. But yes. And to find out if you won, we're going to be doing a video. It's going to be premiering. It's going to be an actual premiere, so you'll be able to watch it live. It won't be live like us live, but the video itself will be premiering in real time, kind of like a cable show. 5 o'clock on Monday, the 25th is when that's going to air. So make sure you keep track of that. If for some reason you can't watch it, don't worry. We're going to post it on our social media, and the video is going to still be online. We'll also try and message you directly. If for some reason you don't respond within 24 hours, we will then pick somebody else and then message them. So good luck to you. Make sure the more of these videos you go and like and comment on, the more chance you have. And of course, you have to be subscribed as well. So good luck at winning. All right, well, welcome back to the end of the video. Make sure you do all the stuff we said because the giveaways were really cool and awesome and all that stuff. And yeah, so if you want some haunt tickets, do that. That being said, even if you are not doing the giveaway, if you're watching this past that's due, make sure you like the video, you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss any other future videos. We upload quite a bit of stuff. In the off season, we have a podcast called Creeps, Creatures, and Haunts.
Oh my.
Where we talk about real haunted stuff and cryptids and creepy stuff and just weird stories and stuff like that. So after this is over, probably in November sometime, we're going to start back up on that. We have like 30-some episodes you can go either listen to or watch. They're in both forms. There's a link to the actual podcast itself in audio form in the description if you want to watch the video form, what's on the YouTube channel. So you can go find it. There's a playlist for it. We also, like we were saying, do real haunt reviews. We also do real ghost hunting and stuff like that, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff, short films, all kinds of stuff you to check out on the channel. It's more than just haunt reviews, but we will continue to do these. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.